Hello guys, it's Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over a 25-0 untouchable gameplay. I want to say untouchable, but I'm probably wrong, because I get the sprees mixed up all the time in my head. Quite frankly, when it gets past 20, it's just kind of like chaos to me. I don't know which spree is which, because I don't really usually get that much above 20, and especially as they've changed the spree medal names since Halo Reach and Halo 3, which is kind of a brief topic I just want to touch on before I go into this commentary, that the medal changes weren't necessarily... Some of the medal changes I'm not exactly happy, and some of the things they got rid of. I remember they used to have like kind of more medals. They used to have like medals for an assist frenzy, like 10 assists in a row. They used to have like Be the Bullet, Sniper Spree, and then Sharpshooter for 10. They also got rid of the headshot medals within snipers. I think you don't see them in the post-stat screen. They also got added comeback kill and distraction as some of the new medals, which, to be honest, are something that just don't excite me. You know, I'm not gonna shout down the party, guys, I just got a distraction. It kind of just seems like a pity medal, you know, just like giving you a medal for the sake of doing something, which is not necessarily what you want. You don't want the game to be swamped up with pointless medals. Not that it's that big a deal, you know. I'm not gonna stop playing a game because of the medals, but it's just kind of worth noting. This settler map, I don't know, it's kind of starting to grate on me. It kind of has the same feel and chemistry to some of the Halo Reach Forge World maps, which I wasn't necessarily a big fan of, especially within matchmaking. Because the thing about matchmaking is, you play matchmaking a long time. A long time. If you're someone like me, or if you're someone who takes the Halo game seriously, you're going to be playing it again. You might even be streaming it if you're competitive or someone, and you might watch lots of streams. So you need the maps to be aesthetically pleasing. You need something that you're going to be able to watch for a long time, play for a long time, and not get sick of the way it looks. Graphics aren't the top priority in the game. I'm not trying to make that out to be the case. But what they do is they help make the gameplay experience both easier to play, more easy viewing, and enjoyable to watch. It's not the biggest component, of course, of what makes a game good, but if a game has a good art design and there's some vibrant colours and it's easy on the eyes, then you're going to get more enjoyment out of your playtime. And I think certain games pull that off really well, certain games like League of Legends. I think one of the big reasons people have been able to watch that on stream for so long and get so into it is because, quite frankly, the art design looks superb. The costume design on certain characters looks great. They did a really good job of having a vibrant colour palette. Whereas in a game like Reach, I found that the matchmaking experience got a little bit dull for me, a little too quick, a little quicker than I should have gone, because the excitement of the maps and the excitement of playing the new maps weared off, because quite frankly, I can't remember how many default maps they had, but it wasn't as many as it should have been, and there were like 5 or 4 Forge World maps from the very beginning. And, you know, first things first, that's a little bit of a cop-out in my opinion, you know. Trying to pretend that the game ships with a certain amount of maps, but then a certain amount of them are Forge World maps and remakes to a further point. You know, you had your Hemorrhage, your Pinnacle, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember the other maps. Asylum, that was one, and I don't know the other one. But anyway, yeah, remakes. So it wasn't necessarily... You felt a little bit cheated, because that wasn't the developer putting, you know, time into making those maps. And Forge World just didn't look aesthetically pleasing enough to the point it felt like it was worth it playing those remakes. Because, quite frankly, a big part of me was just saying in my head, well, why don't I just go back to Halo 2, you know? Quite frankly, the Forge experience, the maps looked better on Halo 2. You know, it had its own art design, it had its own visual representation. They tried to put an atmosphere into the map. It was built up from the ground. Every piece of scenery has been like customly engineered. Whereas in Forge World, it was kind of just like, let's put all this into a green area, and the grass textures kind of look a bit the same, a bit repetitive, and it just felt a little bit half-arsed, in my opinion. Excuse the language, but there we go. Whereas Halo 4, for the most part, I think they actually did a much better job of making the Halo Forge experience more worthwhile to play, better long-lasting experience. Quite frankly, certain maps like Erosion, in terms of building Forge World maps on that, look incredible. I don't know if you played a Lockout remake on Erosion, I played one of them, and the atmosphere and the levels of excitement were just amped up by how great the map looked. It has so many good vistas, so many good outlooks. It just, I don't know, like the overall chemistry of a map like Erosion works so well within the Forge space. A lot better than Forge World did, in my opinion. And I know Forge World had more features, maybe, and more, like, stuff to play around with. But at the same time, aesthetics, like I said, are a big part of it. And, my problem I've been having with Settler recently, going back to my original point, is that Settler kind of has this feeling of Halo Forge World-esque. I don't think Ravine looks particularly the most pretty map I've seen, especially this certain play space. And although I enjoyed the map at first, and I enjoyed the fact that it was kind of like a Hemorrhage remake, a Blood Gulch, it has a lot of, Blood Gulch vibe to it. Slowly but surely, the map started to grind on me with the aesthetics of it. Like, everything kind of looks a bit the same. The grass textures look a bit dull. The rocks just look a bit too forced in place. I don't know. Everything just doesn't feel to have its own, it doesn't feel like a living area. It doesn't feel real. It feels like an artificial fighting space almost. And that kind of bugs me because I play this map a lot. And at first, I really enjoyed it. I enjoy certain parts of it. The mid-level, the mid-map combat can be really, really exciting. But at the same time, it kind of seems to have a problem like Complex, where one part of the map is just integral to your win. And that is kind of the cliffside. If a team has good control over cliffside and can consistently pick up the railgun spawn, quite frankly, the other team will have a hard job pushing out of spawn. They really will. Because if your shot's good enough with the DMR isn't exactly necessarily that hard to use. It's very easy to push people back into their spawn. And I don't really like maps like that, personally. Maps like that kind of seem damaging to the matchmaking experience. Because I don't want to go into a game and feel like I can't make a difference unless my team are doing the best job they physically can. I don't like that because I prefer maps when there's always a flanking route. There's always some way of getting out of a situation as long as you are skillful enough. Giving players there is an edge, but you have to take that edge and you have to work your butt off to make that edge work. But when it feels like you can't make a difference if the other team is too good and the other team know the spawns too well, that just seems a bit damaging to my overall fun experience because I don't know, like, that just doesn't seem as skillful as me. I prefer knowing that if I play well enough, my aim is good enough, and my movement is good enough, I can get out of any situation, I might not be able to destroy the enemy team, and teamwork should be integral, of course, but I don't want to be put in a situation where it's like, well, I might as well rage quit, because this isn't going to happen, My team are playing terribly, I can't get out of spawn, and this is a damaging map. And that kind of happens when you play the higher level players. I've noticed that, and even, like, from our perspective, we're dominating this map space. They can't do anything, realistically. And that happens to me a lot, That happens to me when I'm playing on my own, or when I'm playing with slightly lesser players. And we just get into this position where we're being spawn trapped. And, I don't know, I don't enjoy that. There should be more flanking routes, there should be more ways of getting out of spawn. And quite frankly, there isn't. I mean, the Warthog is your best bet of getting out of spawn, but even then, someone's going to spot you. The Warthog's easier to destroy, etc., etc. I've been Modest Major. I hope you guys see where I'm coming from. Peace out.